Hi everybody. I'm very excited for you guys that you guys have been chosen to be a part of this business trip, and a very important business trip actually. And on closing these deals and having fun during and exploring these countries while you're there. But here are a little few tips I have arranged for you in PowerPoints that I would like to discuss and have you learn before you attend this trip, and as well as be very mindful when you're there and very supportive. So let's get to it. I'm not sure if you already got these PowerPoints open, but I do. So first country we'll be discussing will be Lithuania. It's a country in Europe and is a very rich and religious cultural nation located in Northern Europe. It's heavily influenced by the Roman Catholic Church in daily life, so it is always often seen as they always respect the Roman Catholic Church and they always mention it, as well as there's very religious traditions and customs that take place in there. Church's influence is manifested in for the respect of hierarchy relationships. So there is a social status ladder in Lithuania, so you have to be very mindful on who and what and where you talk to with someone when you're dealing with these business deals, because you are not allowed to talk to a decision maker unless you talk through your way through people of your same level before you get to someone who's capable of making decisions. So that's very important to have in mind. So the first topic we'll be talking about on that's very important to these meetings will be what you pack and wear for these meetings. So for men, they are recommended to wear dark suits with the colors navy, charcoal, or black, as well as white, as wearing a white or light dress shirt, and a conservative tie with dress shoes that are polished. It is optional for them to wear an overcoat during winter because it usually tends to be cold there. So it's black. Just wear a black overcoat if it's cold in winter. If not, then the following should be fine. As well, for women, they are recommended to wear business suits and conservative dresses, which are the neutral colors as black, gray, navy, and beige. Closed-toe shoes or modest heels if it's a must on wearing heels. Only if it's a must on wearing heels. If not, then it's closed-toe shoes. As well as wearing minimum jewelry and makeup, just so you don't overdress or you overdress than a higher up, because higher ups don't tend to dress that extravagant. They tend to lay low, and you do not want to overdress that person, since that's the person who you want to build a good connection with to close this deal. Where will these meetings take place? These meetings will be taking place with appointment base of 2 to 3 weeks prior. So yes, you must call and you must schedule an appointment with them 2 to 3 weeks prior, and I recommend doing it maybe before you attend the trip, just so with the names and list of people who are attending, just so they know who's attending, what their names are, and what title they have, because they are very mindful of that. Lithuanian people always like to have information about others and be prepared. So if you show up right on the spot without them being prepared, then it might affect you on this and lower your chances of closing this deal. The formal settings are usually taking place in partner's office or conference room in hotels or restaurants, depending on where it might be more convenient, as well as you might be invited to a formal lunch or dinner, which is where the dining etiquette is important to learn through. So I can't go over it right now because it's a very long list of dining etiquette, but I recommend you to read up on this more, as well as greetings and gifts. When you address somebody in Lithuania, you must use the honorific title or surname of their names. because if you go by their first name basis, it is frowned upon and it hurts you, like it like discredits you as somebody who's not taking this seriously or not sincere. So it is very important to take that into account, as well as keeping eye contact with the person you're talking to and smile with them, because then it brings in like a good positive energy, as well as you're showing them that you're like a easygoing person, as they should be an easygoing person, as being positive they should be positive, as maybe giving you a chance in your deal that you're presenting to them as well. You must always shake hands with them, but sometimes in occasional hugs are accepted, but that's only accepted if the Lithuania person has established or like kind of accepted that there's been a level of friendship has reached of intimacy. So that all depends on the Lithuania person you talk to. They get to decide that, not you. So be aware of that. The next thing we'll be talking about is what to not do with a Lithuania person. So do not gift the Lithuania person chrysanthemums, which is a type of flower used during funerals. I'll let that sit, because yeah, you do not want to receive some funeral flowers during gift giving, especially when you're invited to their home. So that's a very important detail to remember, as well as giving white flowers, as white flowers are used during weddings, and so it might look like you just took some white flowers from a wedding and then you're giving them to them, and it does not look good. Never give them an even number of flowers if you bring in flowers of any color, because they do not like even flowers. They would rather prefer you to bring odd number of flowers. I do not know why, but yeah. Visit a home you've been invited to empty-handed. Never arrive to a home you've been invited to empty-handed. I'll say it again. Do not come to their home empty-handed. Always bring flowers, wine, or chocolate to the hostess, since they are hosting you in their home, and you must give thanks to them, because they don't have to host you. As well as your agenda for these meetings will be frequent meetings between them, as you want to develop that bond and develop a friendship with them, since Lithuanian people depend on friendship to decide on whether this deal that you're offering them is convenient to them or not, or any future new deals that might come up will be profitable for them. Be very soft-spoken when you talk to a Lithuania person, as I am now talking to you guys. Yeah, and always be formal, respect etiquette and protocols. So when they push on or tell you like you must not, or you must wait until all higher ups sit, then you must listen and respect their advices, because this is what this Lithuanian focus more on, which is, like I said in the beginning, social status. It's like a ladder of social status, and it's very important. How will we approach their business? So at the end of this, it is to be expected that our employees chosen to be part of this corporate engagement will adapt and be open-minded to social status and hierarchies in Lithuania. The requirement of learning dining etiquette, as well as learning more about Lithuanian customs, religious influences, and traditions. Yes, there is so much more that goes into Lithuanian, and how their dining etiquettes and traditions go way far into it, but it's too much to tell you now. So I hope you read more about their dining etiquette and religious influences and traditions, which will help you in the long run. Let's move on to Sweden. Sweden is a country in Scandinavia. Some useful information to keep in mind. Sweden is located in the northern part of Europe, which is between Finland and Norway. 75% of the populations are members of the church, but only 2% attend the church. So it's not that much influence in the Catholic Church. As well as Sweden is a very child-oriented country. Keep this in mind. It'll be important in the future, later on in the PowerPoints. What to pack and wear for your meetings. For men is recommended to wear well-made suits, navy, charcoal, or black, silk dress shirts, as well as conservative silk ties, and dress shoes that are polished, which is recommended to wear the color brown in most events, and sometimes black. And you do not want to overdress. You do kind of want to little bit overdress than underdress, but in Sweden, it's mostly seen as a lot of people like to dress casually, but it's recommended during these business meetings you dress formally. So have that in mind. As well, for women, it's recommended for them to wear business suits or conservative dress with neutral colors, black, gray, navy, and beige, closed-toe shoes, and modest heels. Again, if you must wear heels, then it has to be modest heels, as well as minimum jewelry and minimum makeup. Where will these meetings take place? They will be appointment based by 2 weeks prior. Sweden people like to know what's up. They like to know like ahead of time, like future wise, like they want to know names, lists, titles, etc., etc. So just like Lithuanian, they like to know their stuff about you and like to know more about you if you're coming to visit them. Formal settings. These formal settings will be taking place in partner's office or conference room. So you might be invited to their offices, or they might be invited to their homes sometimes. So you have to keep in mind of this. Again, if these meetings go well, then you might be invited to formal lunch or dinner. Greetings and gifts. What to do? Always use honorifics, titles, or surnames, as I said before, as well as keep eye contact, smile, and shake hands. Swedish people like to give firm handshakes, so yeah, that's a little helpful tip. As well as greetings and gifts on what not to do. Gift in Lithuanian person chrysanthemums. Do not give them chrysanthemums because they are seen as funeral flowers as well as white flowers. So almost like Lithuanians, they see these flowers as funeral flowers, but with Swedish, it's all white, and Christmas flowers are seen as funeral flowers. So do not give them white or chrysanthemums flowers. When you visit a home, again, do not come up empty-handed. You must always bring flowers or sweets, since this is a child-oriented home, as well as bring gifts to any or all children that are attending the event or at the home. So always call also 2 weeks prior or during the 2 weeks prior on the hostess to thank her that you're being invited to their home. And you can also ask if any children are going to be there, because you would like to bring them a gift as well. Your agenda for the meetings. These meetings will be frequent, as well as the Swedes like to go straight to the topics. So just Swedes like to keep their home and business lives separate. So while you're attending their homes, they just home. But when they're attending the business, they go straight to the topic. So that's one important thing that you want to keep in mind. Be very soft-spoken and patient when you talk and hearing others talk and finish, as well as do not get flustered when there's an awkward silence in the room, since Swedish people don't believe in being awkward silences in meetings, since it is a normal human thing that happens. So they are more open-minded and treat everybody equally, with everybody getting an opportunity to talk during these meetings. How will we approach their business? It is also to be expected that our meetings choose to be part of this. It is sorry, it is to be expected that our employees chosen to be part of this corporate engagement will be punctual, formal, and be aware of personal space, as Swedes are very private. Yes, always keep in mind, always make sure the distance is just enough, because Swedes don't like to for you to be invading their private space. As well as there's a requirement is recommended of learning Sweden dining etiquette, as well as learning more about Sweden customs, holidays, and traditions. So, having said that, I hope these tips help you in closing and like connecting with these people. And I hope you guys have fun. That's all. Bye bye.